All right, today I'm going to be working on this axe. A buddy of mine reached out to me and said he wanted me to do a cool axe for him. And I showed him what I had. I figured if it's in my personal collection, then it's good enough for a good friend. This is a Precision A-Built double bit axe. I think I remember seeing a marking somewhere as far as the weight on it. But I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning it up and show you my process. First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up the inside edges where the handle fits in. It's got some rough spots in it, and I want the head to go on and off nicely when I'm trying to fit it. So I'm just going to take a file. I could use a Dremel, but I really like doing things by hand. So I'm just going to take a file and clean this up. I know y'all really can't see what I'm doing, but there's a bad spot right here that I'm just trying to, very misshapen, get that taken care of. Just basically beveling the inside of it so it doesn't tear the handle up when it's going on and off. As you can see, I have created a slight chamfer or bevel along the entire inside of the eye, and I'm going to flip it over and see whether or not I think it needs the same on the other side. Not as important, because that's where it's exiting. It's not going on and off there as much, and it's not going to, the top of the eye is not going to create a curl. So depending on whether or not it's been banged on and beat up is whether or not I clean it up. I did end up touching up the eye just a little bit on the top, and there were some very sharp deformities here that I just slightly took down. I didn't take them down completely because I like the character, but because of the overall aesthetic that he and I have talked about, I went ahead and knocked those sharp edges down. So next, I'm just going to hit this with some sandpaper and an orbital to try to bring some color into it, and then I'm going to clean out the eye with a attachment that I modified to fit in the drill. All I'm going to do now is just spray some WD-40 inside the eye, and then with the drill attachment that I have, I'm going to clean out that eye. Next, I'm just going to take some WD-40 and an orbital sander. I'm going to hit this with some 320 to start. I don't want to remove a whole lot of material. I want to leave some character on it. So 320 just to see what it looks like. This is where I'm currently at. I did step down to 120 because the 320, while cleaning it up, it did just fine, but it wasn't giving it the aesthetic or the look that I'm going for. So I stepped it up to, or went to higher grit as far as coarseness. I went to a 120. Now on the bevels, he's wanting close to a mirror, and I'm going to step them back quite a bit. So I'm going to go back with like a 40, and then work my way to 1,000 or 1,500 or something like that to try and get that as close to a mirror as I can. So I started with the palm sander, but there was some pitting. It's not severe, but there's enough pitting that the palm sander wasn't doing anything. So I switched over to the grinder, and I'm starting with 40 and working my way up to 400. I'm not sharpening it with this. I'm just doing cosmetic bevels, and then I will hand sharpen it with a file and then finish it off with some sandpaper or a stone or something of that nature. But yeah, you just got to do what you got to do sometimes, figure it out and go with it. Palm sander didn't work, so I stepped it up. I kind of think less is more, so I start easier, and then if that doesn't work, then I go more aggressive. All right, this is the base or the first step in this particular process. It's not sharp. I could have sharpened it during this process, but I want to do a video on hand sharpening. As you can tell, there's some nicks in it because I want to do that video for y'all. But this is the starting point of the project. I just shaped it, and my next process is going to be cold bluing it. So stay tuned.